Good morning. Here we go. Good morning, everyone. We are here. The Swing, Play, Score, the show. I'm Dr. Greta Anderson. Today, I am beyond excited. We are going to learn about our minds, folks. Getting our mindset right, staying excited, everything. I'm not even going to try to explain here. I'm just going to introduce my good friend, my colleague, an awesome person all around, Ms. Debbie O'Connell. Welcome to the show, Debbie.
Oh, Dr. Greta, I am so excited. One, for you and for all the people who get to listen to your amazing knowledge about golf, about swinging, about playing, about scoring, and taking their game. And I imagine you give some tips on how to take their life to an even better level as well. I admire and respect you so much, and it's an honor for me to be here with you.
Thank you so much. You know that, golf is a metaphor for life, in my humble opinion. And so I find it difficult to give one piece of advice without some of the other stuff wrapped in there. But that's precisely the reason why, when the opportunity came to have you on, that I just jumped on it, because the role for us out in those fairways, but everywhere. And that's really what you focus on. So I am not going to tarry too much time. I want to jump right into it and let you share your story and help us get on the road to understanding all about mindset and what you do to help us. So jump in.
My story started really when I was a kid. I have two very loving, amazing parents who are both very, very good athletes. My dad, both of them are very competitive. And my dad, extremely competitive, like over the top competitive, hates to lose. He's one of those guys who says, show me a good loser and I'll show you a loser.
Oh.
That's my dad. Just, win. Go out there and win. And then my mom was be a good sport, be respectful, be a good sport, but also very competitive, have that fire.
Sure.
And I remember having that fire as a kid, and that childlike excitement. And then there were a couple times where I was in a game and I didn't come through. I had the opportunity. I had that childlike, put me in. I wanted the bat in my hand, or I wanted the ball in my hand. And when I had it in my hand and failed, basically, it was, I just heard accidentally, because my parents were both amazing and I felt so loved. But when you're a kid, you put these neuro connections together. So when I heard my parents being so upset about the loss, we should have done something else. Or dad, when he coached me in one game, and then every time we rode by the field, geez, Debbie just had to hit the ball out of the infield for years. For years, I would hear that. And it was just later on in life, he said to me, he goes, I really didn't handle that well. Mr. O'Reilly, who's the other coach, you know what? He outsmarted me. And this was probably 17 years later. Wow. After the 17 years, I kept feeling it was my fault. I let my parents down. I disappointed them. I was embarrassed and really feeling down and out about it. And every time we'd ride by that field, that was my memory. Right. So when I look back now as an adult, now at the time I had no idea that this affected me. When now as an adult, and I know what I know about the unconscious mind, I know I made an incorrect neural connection. That in order to be loved, this is how deep it can go. I needed to win, I needed to be the best, and I needed to be recognized. And that was my child brain that put all that together. So from there, when I look back on my athletic career, I had a lot of success. I played Division I college basketball. I played in the Final Four. I've had 300 games in bowling. I played at the highest level of both of those sports, and in golf. Played in an LPGA tournament. So 3 sports I've played at the highest level. And in all of them, I felt like I didn't reach my full potential. And when I've analyzed that and look back, I see that so much of it came from these neural connections, these limiting beliefs I had. I had one that said I'm not smart enough. For so many years, I'm not smart enough. When you get to golf, you're making decisions. You need to be creative. You need to plan the course. There's a lot that goes into that. When you feel you're not smart enough, that's going to impact how you play the game. So all of that together, where, sports, then it just became I have to win. It became more pressure for me. I have to be the best than it was that childlike excitement. Everybody, can you all remember when you had that childlike excitement? Pick me, pick me, pick me. I want the
Absolutely.
ball. I want the ball. I want to. Can I go first?
Absolutely.
Can I go first? Remember that? If we can get back to that, you
Mm-hmm.
will actually play so much better with just the excitement instead of the pressure of worrying as an adult, like we do. Don't
Right.
embarrass yourself. Don't hit a
Right.
bad shot. You know, your score matters, all those things that come up.
Right.
So
Right.
that's my story. And then I went deep. I
Mm.
decided I am on a mission to find this mindset. Even from a teenager, I started reading positive quotes. I did
Okay.
Tony Robbins' 30-day personal power within. And that was when I was in my early 20s. I've
Mm.
read all the Zig Ziglar, Norman Vincent Peale. I was on this mission, and over the last, I would say, 6 years, I've gone even deeper. I've watched Tony, and I said, "What does he do?"
Mm.
So I took a course in life coaching from Tony Robbins and
Mhm.
Chloe Adonis called Strategic Intervention. I'm now certified in neurolinguistic programming,
Yes.
timeline therapy. I was like, I got to understand this brain because I want to help others.
Yes.
I'm past my prime as far as competing myself, although we do get to compete in
Yes.
our
Yes.
LPGA events, which I love, and I plan to do.
Mhm.
Uh, I want to help people at all levels of the game to enjoy it to the max, and so that's been my mission. I have such a passion to stand up for all of you golfers who work really hard, and something keeps getting in the way, and it's
Mm.
between your ears.
Those limiting beliefs. Now, I've had the pleasure of working with you and seeing you help in young ladies, in particular through the LPGA Leadership Academy, really identify those at an early stage, which is an amazing breakthrough because, as you mentioned, those limiting beliefs that you didn't really realize that you were holding kind of held you back for quite some time. With those ladies, you get an opportunity to really help them ID them so they can crush them and move away from them and move in a different direction early on. So you've taken that to just the next level in all of this work that you've discussed. And thank you for sharing your story with us. So now tell us about what's going on right now, because you got a big deal going on here.
Yeah, I've put together a program, and it's called Keys to a Champion Mindset. For those of you who feel frustrated on the golf course, you have doubt, insecurity, you hit a poor shot, you get really, maybe even angry sometimes. You worry when you get on the tee. Sometimes you get so nervous you can't function. Or maybe you went out there and you're playing great. You're having an amazing round. You're about to shoot your lowest score ever, or you're about to win the tournament, and then you blow it on the last few holes. What
Mm.
happens with that? Wait, maybe you've had an amazing front nine and you make the turn and you're like, who the heck showed up on the back nine? I
Right,
don't know who this is. And
right.
even Greta, I bet you've had this experience. You're in a pro-am and you
Mhm,
have and I've never heard a man say this, but I've heard women do this.
mhm.
One of your female amateurs is playing incredible, like over the top, just
Mhm.
a 30 handicap who makes a couple pars and chips one in for birdie. And
Okay.
here, this is what that person has done almost 100% of the time. This isn't me. I don't know who this is. Don't
Yes.
expect this the whole day because I don't know who's playing. I'm
I
not
don't
this
know what's
good.
going
I'm
on. I
not this
think
good.
this is
Don't
just,
expect
this
this.
is luck. I don't know what's going on. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And I'm looking at them like, no, you're doing this. And what happens, like, whatever it was a pro, they have a pro, they were relaxed. They played how they really
There was
can
no
play.
pressure. They were playing for fun. It was no pressure. It was a great
Exactly.
experience.
And then their mind says, oh my God, they're going to expect me to keep playing like this. I better tell them
Right.
I'm really not this
Don't-
good and
This
don't
is not
expect it.
me. Exactly. Yes. Many times. Many
Right.
times.
And I've heard women do that. I haven't heard men. I've been with the guy who's doing that, and he'd be like, yeah, that's my game.
I told you I'd hit the drive
I'm looking, I'm
275
like,
back in 1992. Yeah. Yeah. It can
So,
happen.
so if
Yeah.
any of your listeners here, if any of you out there have golfed and you've had those experiences, or maybe it's you have to play a high front nine and then you shoot your lowest nine scores. Maybe it's that way because in golf, I bet if you look at
Right.
your score, there's the low and there's the high, and you're in there most of the time.
Exactly.
And
Median.
our goal, if score is important to you, is to knock down I was going to say the glass floor
Right.
and
Right.
allow
Exactly.
you
Exactly. You
to
know that
go lower in your
who's
score.
there. As I like to tell people, and during instruction or even in the playing lesson or whatever, wherever the case may be, that the same thing. They hit a great shot or a series of great shots, and they go like, well, this isn't me. Don't expect this. I go like, well, here's what we know. If you're able to execute this now, you're able to execute this many times over. It's just a matter of determining that we're going to be able to do that.
Exactly. So that's what I call the presenting problems. So they're presenting problems. Then there's a greater problem that could be, the pressure gets to me. Expectations make me nervous. I worry about what other people think. They're going to judge me. So that's the greater problem when we really start to think about it. So ask yourself, when those moments have come up for you, what are the negative thoughts and emotions that come up? I might let other people down. I'll disappoint them. I'm not, I'm not as athletic as they are. So there's greater problems in there. And what I do is I get to the root cause. So the root cause is typically in those situations, I'm not good enough.
Yeah.
If I fail, I'm not loved. If I disappoint others, that means I won't be liked. Which those are the limiting decisions we get as a parent. If any of you have had parents who, and maybe this could be wrong as well, right? You felt like you were never good enough. And it could have been your parents saying, oh my gosh, you're so amazing. Why didn't you get straight A's? You're so amazing. Like this is what would happen with my mom sometimes. We'd be playing and I'm a professional, right? So for a long time, when I had PRO in front of my name, I felt the expectations and I didn't play as well. I was worried about what they thought. And if I had a bad hole, I'd be like, oh my God, they're probably wondering, how is she a pro?
Right.
I put that on myself. And that came from the limiting decisions of not wanting to disappoint, trying to live up to others' expectations, feeling then less than. Not good enough.
Right.
So when I've learned that for me, so for any of you, ask yourself, what are the negative thoughts or the emotions? And then from where is this coming? Because it may have been your parents just think the world of you and they know how amazing. So this is what would happen with my mom. I'd be playing along, playing pretty well, and I'd miss a shot. She'd say, what happened? And I always felt like it was like, what's wrong with you? Why did you do a bad thing? And from childhood. So the memory comes back, right, of disappointing maybe them if I didn't play as well in a game, which I did. I mean, after the game, I knew I was loved, right, consciously.
Sure.
But it's these little things we do. I mean, I'm so thankful. I wouldn't trade my parents for anybody. But some of you have had parents that never complimented you, right, and you felt never good enough. Could be true that they felt that way. Could be that they thought the highest of you. So my mom would say that because she was just surprised.
Right.
Because she sees me as this amazing golfer, and she's like, "Oh, what happened?" So she was literally surprised. And for a while, I would take that as, "Oh," I would go to that. I would go to because our brain does this. Oh, what does that mean when my mom said, "Oh, that means you disappointed her. Oh, that means you weren't good enough."
Right.
That's what our brain does.
Right.
Didn't mean that at all.
And she meant just the opposite. In her mind, it was almost complimentary. Like, you hit so many good shots. Where did that come from?
Yeah, like, man, you're so good. How, what happened?
Right.
So it's interesting. I'll tell you a story when we talk about beliefs. I saw Tony Robbins coaching this gentleman who stuttered. And I mean, debilitating stuttering. And he went to Tony, he said, Tony, it's affecting my life. Will you help me? And Tony helps him. Okay. So as Tony does his work and gets down to the root cause, he found that when this gentleman was 3 years old, he was in his TV room watching Rocky and Bullwinkle. And remember, Bullwinkle stuttered. This was a cartoon for those of you who haven't seen it. And he would go, so he would stutter. And this one day he's watching them, and his parents are fighting in the other room, screaming, yelling, throwing things, could have even been violent. I mean, it was just really bad. So he was scared. And he went out and he stuttered to his mother, Mom, 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 just like Bullwinkle. So he stuttered when he asked for her attention, Mom, 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 Mom. And they stopped fighting. She kneels down. She's like, what is it, baby? She and held him. He felt loved, safe, secure in that moment.
And he stuttered.
His brain put together stuttering with loved, safe, and secure.
Wow.
And from then on, he stuttered. And when you can get to the root cause, and then I have the timeline therapy, we release it.
Mhm.
And then it's like that situation doesn't go away, but how you perceived it and the connections are rewired. It's
Right.
like
Right.
rewiring your
The
blueprint.
neural roadmap, if you will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Wow.
the job of the unconscious mind is truly to make whatever we believe in your unconscious mind become your reality.
Reality. That's
It's
right.
going to create your life out here. And here's the way
Perception.
I look at this is for those of you who are really visualize this. You're getting ready to go in a hot air balloon, and the hot air balloon has 4 huge ropes tied down. They're staked into the ground. They can't go anywhere. But the real is pretend they're really, really long ropes. You're in the balloon. If you ever been in the balloon, they pump the gas, the heat goes, this flame goes up, and all that heat makes the balloon rise. So they
Right.
pump it, shh, and the heat goes up. So
Correct.
this is you pumping with your golf lessons,
Mhm.
pumping that heat, shh,
Yeah.
and that balloon is rising. You work on your pre-shot routine. You're thinking positive. You're taking deep breaths. You're visualizing your shot. You're practicing putting. You're practicing your short game. You're doing playing lessons with your pro. You're playing 2-3 times a week. You get a club fitting. You get the best clubs in the world. You know all the drills. You get golf fitness. Every time you do that, you're pumping, and that balloon is rising. Your
Right.
game is getting better. It's rising and rising. And then what happens? It comes to a point, it stops rising. No
Yeah.
matter what you do. You know why? You're tethered down. The
Mhm.
balloon is still tethered to the ground. And you know what they are? Your limiting beliefs and the negative emotions that are deep seated in your unconscious mind. For years, Greta, I was a master, and I still am, at reframing consciously. I
Mm.
could reframe consciously with the best of them. You know, I change words. And if you get frustrated, instead of that, use the word, this is so fascinating. So here's an
He
example.
is
Slow
a
play.
professional at that.
Wow, bam! Like I change it right away. So you're on the
Instantly.
course, there's slow play, and you're feeling your emotions. You go, this is fascinating. How can people play
Fascinating.
golf this slowly and not really care about it? This is fascinating. So switch it and make yourself laugh and smile, because here's the important part about that. One, when you do that, you are pumping the balloon, and it helps
Mhm.
you play better in the moment.
Mhm.
Absolutely. You want to be your absolute best in this game. If you want to have more fun, have unwavering belief in yourself, and have confidence, and any situation you can just be your authentic self,
Mhm.
that we need to untether that balloon so you can soar.
Mhm.
And that's
Yes.
in the unconscious mind. And that's what I do with Keys to a Champion mindset.
That is amazing, because I think that many golfers will, if we dig into ourselves, into our minds, that's a lot of it, because we know during instruction and on the practice range, and even at around where there's kind of no pressure, right? People, they're ready to play their best, playing some of their best golf. But it's when some of the environment changes a bit, this scenery changes a bit, that, as you said, all of a sudden that balloon is tethered. And so we know that so many golfers want to get to that next level. So I'm excited about this. When you were telling me about it, I was like, that's the one. That is the one. And I really think it's gonna
It's the
help.
secret. It really is. And I don't know of any other golf professionals taking the mental game of golf to this level. And so I feel like I'm on a mission to switch and change and stand up for golfers who work so hard, and they
Mhm.
keep hitting that ceiling. They're pumping that gas, and it's not rising anymore. They're like, what is going on? I'm doing everything that I'm supposed to, from whatever level. And
Mhm.
this isn't just like that professional level or the
No.
collegiate golfer with the big dreams. These are the amateur golfers. And even if you don't work that hard at the game, because it's just, you go out there. I have some people I teach. I said, what do you love about the game? This is what's important to you. Write down and find out what is important to you about golf.
Right.
Because I've had people do this. Oh my God, I love being with my friends. I love being outside. I love nature. It's so. I get some exercise.
Yeah.
I love it. Not once did it mention hitting good shots and score. And here's
Exactly.
what they do: they go out in the course, and all of a sudden, it becomes
Prepare
about
that.
score
Yeah.
and hitting good shots.
Yeah.
Really take the time and really get in this state of relaxation, and ask your unconscious mind, what is important to me about golf? and imagine all the things you love about it, and then go out and play and keep those things in mind. And
Yes.
that will support you in playing your best. It's when it's important that you're with your friends and that you're outside and you're enjoying nature and you're getting some exercise. And then you go out there and you focus on score and hitting good shots, and you start worrying about what people think and you worry about being judged. That makes it not as much fun as what
Right.
your intention was.
Well, and I would imagine as well that sometimes it may be difficult or challenging for some people to acknowledge that their what's important to them about golf may be a bit incongruent with what's important to their friends. I mean, that doesn't mean that you can't play together. It just means that different things are important.
Yeah, because some people, it's being competitive. They have fun. They have that childlike fun with
Right.
competition, and they want to have a bet going. That gets their juices flowing.
Yeah.
That takes them to another level
Right.
mentally.
Right.
You know. And here's the other thing to pay attention to. So I want you to really, if you want to start to understand this, write down some negative. Keep a score one time out there, and write down, what is your emotional state? What are your negative thoughts and emotions during your round of golf? And then analyze it. Look at what is important to you. And then there's this other concept called cause and effect. And this is what we go deep on this with Keys to a Champion Mindset. And we even give everybody their own coach so they can personalize it. So everybody, it's 5 days of 90 minutes of webinar where I go through these concepts and we have fun. There's a chat, there's questions. I do some coaching right on the spot. It's awesome. And then everyone has their own personal coach so that they can say, hey, did you understand everything? What did you learn today? And then they take it deeper and go for the root cause of what's happening. So then we can, develop a strategy to unlock that root cause. But here's the concept, cause and effect. When you are in effect, you're in reasons and solutions. So that's when after the round, you ever hear people after the round of golf, one, they focus on all the bad shots. Yes. Oh, and I 3-putted. Or, oh my gosh, I was going great. And then there was slow play. And then the ranger came along and kept watching us and they're blaming us. And there was, a hold up in front of us. We got so mad at that. Or, my playing partner was so frustrating today and they were negative, and all these things that are blaming, shaming, justifying, you become a victim. Right. So there are some people, the word victim, sometimes there are victims. If you're held by gunpoint, you're a victim, right? For sure. There are things, there's traumatic moments in life that you're a victim. Then after that, it's choose not to be a victim anymore. Correct. So there is with that work. Correct. When you feel like because the ranger came or there was slow play, you became a victim. Here's what happens when you're in effect. You are in the passenger seat of your own life. Right. And when you're in effect, it's your ego, which is trying to get that's that frustration. It's going to stand up for you. It's going to fight. Your inner child. Ooh, don't try to hit it over the water. Go around or be careful. It's that be safe. And then your inner critic. You're terrible at this game. You're not athletic. You're not as good as everybody else. Everyone's judging you. You don't even have a good looking swing. You'll never hit the shot. Let me pull out the water ball because I know I'm going to hit it. Yeah. Get the water ball out because there's no way to get this. Yeah. So that's being in what we call effect. Right. Does anybody recognize that? Anybody? And it's not 100% effect or 100% what I'm going to share with you is where we want to. It's a scale. But I mean, I've been in effect. I've blamed coaches. I raised my hand. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So recognize where you're in effect, but realize this: when you are in effect, everything that happens in your life has power over you because you're saying it's not your responsibility. So if it's not your responsibility, it's not your fault. How can you change it? Right. That's right. That's right. It's a double-edged sword. Right. You can't change it. Can't change it. You may feel better in the moment because you can say, oh yeah, my ball was in a divot and then I hit a bad shot and everything going great. And my ball, there was a twig right by that shot. The ranger came along, there was slow play, whatever the reasons we hear for golfers. Right. That's being in effect. And then the next time that happens, guess what? Your brain says, oh, I guess we play bad in this situation. Right. It will stay the same. Right. Then let's change it to cause. Right. In cause, you are solution oriented. You are results oriented. You get creative. You get ideas. You take responsibility. You are listening to your intuition instead of your ego, inner child, and inner critic. Anybody ever been on a par 3 and you do the yardage and it says, all right, I need 7-iron. And that little voice inside you says 8 is the club.
Yes.
8. Or you're on the tee and it says, hit 3-wood instead of driver. And you're like, no, I'm hitting my driver great today.
Right.
I'll tell you a great story about that
Yeah.
with Lorena Cho about intuition. I'll do that after this.
Okay.
But when you can start to listen to that voice, because how many times then you hit the 7, it flies over the green, you say, I knew I should have hit the 8.
I knew I should have 8. Yeah.
Or that little voice that says, take the umbrella. And you're like, it's a sunny day out, blue skies. I don't need my umbrella. And later on in the day, you're like, I wish I had my umbrella. Your intuition is always kind.
Right.
It's going to lead you in a positive direction. So when you're in cause, that's the voice that's the loudest. That's the one we want to listen to.
That's the barker.
You are taking that responsibility and you'll find solutions. So here's someone in cause in golf. Maybe there is slow play. Wow, this is fascinating. Then you know what? I'm going to take a few extra practice swings. I'm going to make sure I have my pre-shot routine that gets me in the perfect state. I'm going to have more conversation. Let me have conversation with my friends. And then once they're out of the way, okay, time to play golf. And you take that responsibility. The ranger comes along and it has, you don't automatically think the ranger's judging you. You're just your authentic self. You're playing your game. You say, hello, how you doing? Maybe they came by because they think your swing is great. You're thinking and everything's in a more positive way. When you're in effect, those limiting decisions and beliefs come into play where you think you're being judged and you're not good enough. When you're in cause, that's when you're just, hey, how you doing? You see more positive things. You're creative, figuring out, all right, how can I create this shot? After you hit a poor shot, it's no one else's fault. You just say, all right, let me go hit it. Find it and hit it again. After the round, you're not blaming your score. There's no excuses. You're just confident. Yeah, this is what I shot today. And you feel good about yourself. So that's being caused. And you know what? You're in the driver's seat of your life.
Right.
You can change it. You're in charge of it.
Right. So and essentially what we're saying is, yes, I can pass off the blame on this situation, but the trade-off is I can't control it if I pass it off. I'm in the passenger seat, It might not be the best situation, right?
Yeah, powerful. So those of you who hear yourself giving excuse, and there's no judgment on that. We've all done it. We've all done it. You see what level you do it to, and then start to ask yourself, well, why do I make excuses? Oh, because I feel like if I didn't hit a good shot or if I didn't play well, I feel less than. I don't feel good enough. That's when it goes deeper into those, limiting decisions. And that's where, there's many people who've had abuse. I've worked with people who've been sexually abused. I've worked with people whose father just treated them horribly and then left when they were younger. Worked with people who, didn't know their father, and just had this felt never good enough, never loved. And, so there's these situations. And I had someone I was teaching golf one time, and every shot she would find something wrong with it. Every single shot. And she was a pretty new golfer. She'd hit the ball in the air and at her target, it wasn't very far. And then she did another one that was even more solid, and it went like 5 yards to the right. Well, it went to the right. It didn't go to my target. Every single time. So when
nothing was ever good enough.
I said, do you do this in all areas of life? Now I'm digging deep. Like, what does it mean about yourself if you don't hit it perfectly? Well, then we got down to I'm not good enough. And when she grew up, she said, I never did anything right in my father's eyes. Never. And I said, well, where in life do you feel confident? And she perked up. She said, when I play bridge. And her dad never played bridge. He never commented on it. She went and played bridge. And she's like master level bridge player. And so what I started to do was bring that confidence in, and then we started working on switching that root cause of feeling good enough. And it is amazing how that influences your golf, which also then influences your life. Where else in your life do you feel judged? Where else in your life do you feel not good enough? Is it in your career? Is it in your health and fitness? Maybe you don't feel deserving. You grew up where you didn't get anything and you were put down, so you don't deserve the best. What is it with that for you?
Amazing.
And that's where in Keys to a Champion mindset, we go deeper on all of these. I'm giving you the, what do they call that? The view, the like 30,000 of what we do. And then when you have your own personal coach, we go really deep for you, and we unlock what's been holding you back. Imagine when you picture somebody with a champion mindset, they're resilient, they're determined, they stay focused, and it's their conscious and unconscious belief in themselves that carries them through. Because here's the thing, this is another concept we talked about. The conscious mind is the goal setter. I want to shoot this score. I want this handicap. I want to qualify for this event or win this tournament. I want to be the club champion. I want to go out there and have fun with my friends. The goal setter. The unconscious mind is the goal getter. So as you're going along and you want to win the club championship, and then you're about to, 3 holes left, you've got a 1-hole lead if it's match play, or 1-shot lead coming down, and your unconscious mind says, oh no, we're not good enough to do that. And then whoop, you self-sabotage.
Yeah.
All day long you've been playing great, and then boom.
Oh yes.
It's amazing. So, and that's where, I wanted to share the story about Lorena Ochoa. I read it in a book by Pia Nielsen and Lynn Marriott. I think it's one of their books. I think it was Play Your Best Golf, Play Golf, Best Golf Now. We'll have to just look up any of them. They're all great.
They're all amazing. Yeah.
Story about Lorena. She was playing golf in a LPGA tournament in Mexico, her home country.
Yes.
She's on the 18th hole with a chance to win.
Okay.
Now, she has been playing great golf.
Lights
great
out.
golf all day long. So she has this chance to win. It was either tied or she had a 1-shot lead. On this 18th hole, there's water down the left side. She needs to just hit it out. So she gets up there and snap hooks it into the water.
Ooh.
So after that, she goes on to lose the tournament. She felt all the negative emotions, like embarrassed, disappointed. She let her family, friends down. She let her country down. She had so much negative. And when our amygdala in our brain is where we remember things, and we remember the negative 3 times as much as the positive.
That's right.
So think of it right now. When you think of your life, the things you remember the most, you remember so clearly. Absolutely clear memories. They're going to be highly emotional states, either positive or negative. You can picture, like, we know where we were when certain events happened in life, certain major events. I can still remember when Thurman Munson was killed in a helicopter crash. I remember hearing the news on the radio when Elvis Presley died, where I was. When the Challenger blew up, like those events, you can picture exactly where you were. So here's what happens. Now there's a connection there, and a strong memory with emotions with Lorena.
Right.
Later on that same season, she's in the U.S. Open. She was behind, but on the back 9, she goes birdie, birdie, birdie. She's playing incredible golf. She goes from being down by a few strokes to start the day to all of a sudden she's tied for the lead for the U.S. Women's Open on the 18th tee.
Okay.
There's water down the left side. She needs to hit it out. It looks very similar to the hole that she played earlier in the year where she snap hooked it into the water. Her intuition says, let me hit a hybrid or a fairway wood. I don't remember which one, but her intuition said that. She goes over, she talks to her cat. She says, give me the whatever. And he says, why aren't you hitting driver? You've hit every fairway today. You're hitting your driver great. You're playing great. Driver will put you down there a little farther, that you make this whole play easier, whatever. The caddy talked her into it. Now, as a professional and as anyone with a caddy and a player, we know you make the final decision, and when you're in cause, it's your
you make the call. That's right.
Right. If there's a professional blaming the caddy for a club choice, they're in effect.
Yeah.
Right. So anyway, so the caddy says that, and she goes, yeah, you're right. She chooses driver. Guess what happened? She snap hooked it.
I saw it going left. No
because that memory in her amygdala.
Right.
Her intuition tried to tell her.
This is what will be good for us.
Yes. Yeah. And when we can release limiting beliefs, get rid of those negative emotions on the golf course, and get you to where your intuition is your loudest voice, you can play to your potential in golf. You can finish that round. You're in the lead of a tournament. You have a chance to win the club champion. You're about to shoot your best score ever, about to break 100 or 90 or 80 or 70, or, shoot 59. You will stay confident and resilient. I played my best 9 holes after my golf breakthrough. And in the past, I like to call it MUAB, mess up after birdie. Some of you call it FUAB. after birdie. That was me. That was I did that many times. Well, this particular round, I started with a bogey and I went birdie, birdie, eagle. I hit an 8-iron in from the fairway.
Nice.
And in the past, I would have tried to hold on to that. I would have been like, oh, wow, I'm 3 under in 9 holes. That would be a good score.
Right.
Since my breakthrough, I just stayed in the present moment. I stayed confident. I stayed calm. My conscious and unconscious mind, goal setter, goal getter, were in line with my beliefs. So I just kept going. Next 2 holes, I had easy par. I mean, I had birdie putts and a tap in par. Didn't make the putt, but I had went par. And then I go birdie, birdie. Best 9 holes I've ever played in my life. And the whole time I was the same emotional state. You know, I'd get excited, but nothing changed. I didn't try to hold on. I didn't feel tension because I was playing so well. Right.
One kind of along the lines of, you know, as I like to say, it can be your best ball, swing. It can be your best hole. It can be your worst swing, your worst hole. It was. And so there's no point in holding on to that or letting it take you too high or too low, because again, particularly if we aren't keenly aware of those limiting beliefs and that whole, what we've been talking about here, it'll grab you.
Yes. Yeah. And that's where post-shot reaction, and this you can implement right away. Your post-shot reaction is key. You want to keep it neutral or positive. Why is that? For the exact reason I explained about the amygdala and the memories. If you go out there and you say it's your driver, you hit a shot and you get so angry and frustrated. Guess what your brain's going to really remember? The next time you have that driver in your hand, it's going to have some fear and doubt because of that strong memory that got connected with the emotional reaction and the poor shot. Now, if you do that, here's some advice about how to handle that. Oh, wow, I just hooked it over into the rough or into the trees, and just commentate. All right, I hooked it over in the street, but you know what? Let me find it and hit the next shot. And we'll move on from there. I can be creative and get out of this. This will be an amazing par. I'm going to save bogey. Wow, this will be a fun challenge. Something like that. And then when you hit good shots, put a smile on your face. You're like, yes. Because then you remember that. You put a little positive emotion with the driver. Guess what happens next time you put it in your hand? You've got some positive emotion. That in your hand.
Right. One of the things that for me, it can be, every day is not the best day, out on the course. It's not going to be your cleanest ball striking day. But I've had, friends even laugh when you kind of hear me talking to myself in my pre-shot routine, because I'd say this will be the best fill in the blank club of my life, shot of my life. And they're like, oh, how do you know? Because I'm standing here over it. That's how I know. That's how I choose to approach every shot. Now, it may or may not be, but my reaction will be to support the fact that my effort and intention was for it to be the best of my life.
You set yourself up the best you could to hit that shot. I tell people all the time, do your pre-shot routine, plan it, visualize it like it means the world. Like get yourself in that, like every time I say, get yourself in a confident state, notice what I do. So everybody, you can feel more confident with your chin up, chest out, power pose, get there. And you see it, you're looking at it, and you plan it like it means the world. You see it exactly the way you want it. And then you get over the ball and swing like you don't care. That's what you want to do. Because when you try too hard to then make it happen, you get in the way. You have tension and you're forced. Now you get in there and you go, all right, I got this. And you let it go.
Right. I've done the planning. I've done the work. Now let's just let it rip.
Yes. Another great story for people is Amy Bockensetter. She had the opportunity to play the par 3 16th hole. And if you haven't seen this video, I highly recommend you see this video. So she was invited to the PGA Tour event, the wastewater management, where the crowd goes crazy on this hole. They're screaming and yelling. So during the practice round, she with Gary Woodland and a couple other the professionals went and played that, and Amy got to play. Amy has Down syndrome.
Right.
And so she gets on there and she has a microphone on her. You hear her father line her up for the shot. He's behind her, says, you got this? She says, I got this. And as she's walking to the ball, I got this. I can do this. And she does her pre-shot routine. She's got a beautiful golf swing. She hits it in the green side bunker and she's walking down the fairway. Now, there's people in the stands, and she's like, hi. And then her thought is, they love me.
Right.
She enjoyed the moment. How many of us would be in a situation,
Like, oh my
and we're
God.
like, oh my God, look at all these people out here. We're like, all right, don't mess up out of the bunker, right? She's enjoying the situation. And then
Yes.
you hear her constantly saying, I've got this. I can do this. I can do
Mhm.
this. I've got this. And Gary's like, oh my God, you want to hit it out of the bunker? Yeah. All right. She gets in the bunker and she knocks it out probably 10, 15 feet.
Yeah, she had a great shot. She's great bunker.
Gary's like, great shot, Amy. You're awesome. You're awesome. And she's like, thank you. Thank you. She's
Right.
enjoying the moment. He helps her read the putt. You think it's
Right.
going a little right to left. And you got, all right, you got it. Yeah, I got this. And you hear her saying again, I got this. I can do this. I got this. And then she steps up and she putts, and that ball goes in the hole.
Because she
And the
got this. Yeah.
crowd went crazy. She
With
made her
Anderson there.
par. She was so excited. He's like, and Gary kept saying, you're awesome. Oh my gosh, you're awesome. Later that year, Gary Woodland is in the US Open.
That's right.
Never won a major. On the last day, he credited Amy because he kept saying to himself, I've got this. I can do. I got chills thinking about it. The entire last day, he said, that's what kept me in the moment, positive, believing in myself by continuing to say that. And then here's the thing that brings this fully to home. Greta mentioned the Leadership Academy.
Mm-hmm.
Amy was in the Leadership Academy in Phoenix, Arizona, and learned the positive language and learned to say, I've got this at that Leadership Academy. So in a weird, crazy way, I helped Gary Woodland win the US Open.
I like that.
Because
I like that.
that's
Right.
what was amazing, so we checked with her mom, we're like, did she, because we heard that, and I was like, did you ask her mom if that's really where, and her mom said yes, that after that academy she just started saying, I've got this. Taking charge of your language, taking charge of your physiology will absolutely help you raise that hot air balloon. If you want to truly untether it, and you want to feel unwavering confidence and belief in yourself, you want to go out there and be your authentic self the entire round of golf and play to your fullest potential and feel great and be in cause, take responsibility, be in the driver's seat of your golf game in your life, then go to that link and get on Keys to a Champion Mindset. We will support you. And it is an incredible, I am so passionate about this. I want to make it a price that you can't refuse. I've had one LPGA professional say to me, she's like, isn't that too low? Are they going to think they get the value out of that for that price? I'm not sure. And I'm like, I over deliver, and I just want to introduce people to this concept and get them started with it. So it's only $97.
Yes.
5 days of webinars with your own personal coach. It's jump on that and enroll. My next one is, and we do it live. It's June 5th to the 9th. And if the schedule doesn't work out for you, there's a replay. And it's been transformational. And the people who've done the program, you see them. We have a private Facebook group, so you can ask more questions, and we're in there and we celebrate. And people are like, "Oh my gosh, I played." One gal, she all the last 2 years she hadn't broken 100, and she hadn't broken 50 for 9 holes. And she said, "I played this was her first round this year." She said, "I went out and shot 49."
She broke it.
So for those of you who are saying, I haven't practiced, I haven't played, my timing's probably up, quit saying that. Just go out there with a great mindset, with belief in yourself, and go play and add up the score, and whatever it comes to, it comes to.
And I think that, first of all, and I think those who know me and those around the world who don't know me, please know this. If this wasn't the real deal, we wouldn't be here talking about it. I know Debbie. I've worked with Debbie. I'm telling you, this thing is transformational. It is the real deal. And yes, we're talking about it here specifically in the context of golf, but this is a life changer. This is a game changer, no matter what avenue you're trying to go to the next level in your life. And at $97, I'm telling you, grab it. This is the deal. For those of you, there are some places around the world that are still not quite able to get out there on the golf course. Now's the time to get to work on the game, because we know this is a big part of the game. For those of us that are in warmer climes that are able to get out there and swing, it's still time to get to work on this club right here. So I encourage you to click on the link. The link is in the description on both Facebook and YouTube, to grab this Keys to a Champion Mindset with Debbie and her team. Enroll. You'll be so glad you did. I'm just so thankful to have you here, Debbie. We could talk all day. And
I know we could. Well, your depth of knowledge is incredible too. And I know by now all of your fans, raving fans, and everyone who's listening realize that the mindset is the key. And the unconscious mind is going to truly unlock you to play your best. So by now we realize that, and I know that your depth of knowledge is amazing, and what you're doing with this show, and and all of your teaching and everything you've done and your education, Greta, I just admire and respect you so much, and I'm always thrilled to be around you. Whenever I see that we get a chance to work together, I am over the moon excited. And when you invited me to be here, I was excited. I jumped at the opportunity. I'm like, absolutely, let's check our schedules. When can we do it?
We're going to make it happen. Exactly. So yeah. So, one of my favorite, and I just didn't do it in time to pull it up to share with the world. One of my favorite photos is Wonder Women.
Yes.
In our power pose. It's my favorite. I will definitely figure out a way to get it in here in the replay or something like that so people know. But the power pose, if you don't know about the power pose, you want to tell them about the power, because some people don't know, Debbie, before we get off here.
Absolutely.
What the power pose is all about.
So what I shared, and I do this even in Keys to a Champion Mindset, the day 3 is the how-to. For those of you who are the how-to. We explain a lot about the mind. We start implementing and shifting things. And then we go, how do we use this in golf? That's what day 3 is all about. And that's where I share this full formula called BLAB that I've come up with. I wanted a name that people could remember. So the B is taking charge of your body, your physiology. If you change your physiology, you get into a confident pose, you actually shift your emotions. Because you all know about body language, right? You see someone doing one of these, you kind of figure they're stressed out. You see someone doing like one of these, or look on their face like, wow, they're defensive and really pretty mad. So your body will react to your emotions. Your emotions will also react to your body. So take charge of your physiology. Get yourself in this confident state. Power pose. When I'm playing golf, I rest the club on my leg and I stand like this as I'm waiting to hit my shot. And put a smile on your face. There's another thing. When you smile, you release your own happy drugs, serotonin and dopamine. They get released automatically. You're programmed. You smile, you get more relaxed, you feel happier, and then add the power pose. And then the L is language. Add positive language. I've got this. I can do this. I believe in myself. I am calm and confident. So when your brain starts to run in effect and get the negative things, change it. We change words instead of being overwhelmed. Anybody ever feel this in life? Oh my God, I'm so overwhelmed. We change it to, I'm in demand.
I'm in demand.
And I always lower my voice because it makes me laugh. So
yes, when it's classic.
What's going on? I go, I'm in demand, which is good, right? That means people love you. They want to be around you. They ask you for things. They ask you to do things because you're intelligent, you're smart. You can help them at work. They're piling stuff on because you're so good. You're in demand, right? So that and being instead of frustrated. This is fascinating. Those 2 words, we teach you a few more as well. Those are great. And then the A is appreciation. If you get that pit in your stomach on the golf course, just take a moment and look around and find something you appreciate. Wow, it's so beautiful. I'm lucky to be out here. I'm thankful I can walk. I have arms and legs. If you do, I can see. I can be out here playing golf with great people. Go to appreciation, because the studies show you can't be frustrated and angry and mad and feel appreciation at the same time and stress. So it can't happen.
You can't push up and push and pull, right? You can't do it. Can't push up. Can't do that.
No. And then the final B is breathe. We've all, all golf coaches teach that. Right. And, I think a lot of people teach that and just calming. All of that it's great for your health, but it's incredible for your golf game and life. Right. So use BLAB. Everybody say, I will use BLAB.
I will use BLAB. Awesome. I have enjoyed this so much. This is a way to start my Friday. This has been a great session. Thank you so much. Once again, let me just say this, folks. This is the real deal. And this is the real deal at an unbelievable price. The link is running across the screen, but also to be in the description for those of you who are watching now and going to watch the replay again to gather some more information, glean some stuff out of here that, it's just so much. Debbie was sharing such good information with us. Perhaps you want to watch it again, or those of you who are catching it on the replay. Keys to a Champion Mindset with Debbie O'Connell. Debbie, thank you so much for being here today. Love you much. And I look forward to working with you and watching you do even more great things for all of us.
Oh, thank you, Greta. I love you too, and you're amazing. And when the pandemic hit last year, I was thinking, what can I do? How can I be a bright light and help people, support people? So I started to go live on Facebook
Yes,
7 days a week
yes.
last year. Now I go Monday through Friday. And Friday's always fun Friday. So if you want to laugh, I usually dress up. This morning I was Pitbull. I don't rap like he does. Like I missed a ton of words, but I was Pitbull. It makes you smile. And then the other days, if you want some more encouragement to start your day, 8:30 every morning on my Facebook page, and then I also have an Instagram. So I'm continually trying to serve you and
Yes.
help people live the more positive life. I have two businesses. One is golf positive, the other is live positive, and
Right.
that's what we want for you. I know Greta's heart is the same, and that's why we're both here. And Greta, I think the world of you again, and can't thank you enough for inviting me to be here with you.
Thank you so much. And I forgot to say, let the people know how to find you.
Oh yeah, well my website is Debbie-O'Connell.com. So you
Okay.
can find me there. And then on Instagram, it's Debbie_O_Connell, Connell. So
Okay.
that's on Instagram. And then my Facebook, I just search Debbie O'Connell, and I'm
Okay.
sure you'll find me
You'll
there.
find her. She's everywhere. So again, folks, thanks for watching Swing Play Score, the show. We'll see you next time. See you in the fairways.